You have probably heard of plastics and pollution, but what if I told you there are a type of plastics called microplastics that can be even worse than regular plastics? One of the biggest problems in the world is that microplastics are everywhere. They're even inside of you. So how are microplastics made? Well, they are pieces of larger plastics that have been broken off and become very small. Any piece of plastic less than 5 millimeters in length is considered microplastic. Some are even 1.6 micrometers in length, 5 times smaller than red blood cells. For instance, when a plastic bag is thrown into the ocean, it floats onto the top and gets melted by the sun, turning the once big piece of plastic into billions of microplastic pieces of plastic. 35% of microplastics produced are from synthetic textiles and 24% are from city dust. That tiny bit of plastic might end up in the ocean and get eaten by a fish. Then that fish gets caught by a fisherman and ends up on your plate. In fact, every week you eat an equivalent amount of plastic that is in a credit card. Now let that sink in. This has health effects on humans and animals such as inflammation, oxidative stress, neurotoxicity, and much more, even causing some cancers. The chemistry of microplastics is not at all different from the chemistry of regular plastics. They have very strong dipole-dipole forces. For the kids who weren't paying attention to chemistry, a dipole-dipole force occurs when a negatively charged region of a molecule attracts a positively charged region of another molecule. These bonds make it extremely hard for soil and water to break them down. This may take hundreds of thousands of years for plastics to break down. How did we start on this path? Well, in the early 1900s, plastics were becoming a new thing and soon became one of the most used products in the world. Just as Sophocles said, nothing vast enters the life of mortals without a curse. Now there are more than 75 billion pieces of microplastics, not saying the piece of plastics on land. About 3 million metric tons of plastics are dumped into the ocean each year. There are an estimated 75 to 199 million tons of plastic already in the ocean in just 100 years. Unfortunately, it's not realistic to take every piece of plastic out of the ocean. However, there are many things you can do to stop wasting plastics. You can stop using as many microplastics from grocery stores and eat at home more often, buy organic clothing, reduce shellfish consumption, and take public transportation more often. Major supermarkets such as Walmart, Kroger, and Target give free plastic bags for carrying goods. One of those three, Kroger, produces 6 billion plastic bags a year. Only a small 5% of plastic bags are actually recycled. Our plan, we want to stand outside of major grocery stores such as Kroger and ask for people to trade in their plastic bags for reusable bags. If you didn't know, plastic bags can be recycled and turned into nylon reusable bags. After we receive these bags from people, we will then give them to a recycling plant that will then turn them into nylon reusable bags, and then the cycle repeats itself. The goal is that if people cut down on plastic bags, then large companies won't produce as many.